This is Tawanda, and he is not your ordinary farmer. Every single day he wakes up before sunset to take care of more than 100 chickens and goats. He feeds them, keeps them healthy, and makes sure they lay the freshest eggs.
I always repeat this. I didn't want to end up being an educated fool.
Alright.
I don't sell chickens, I sell genetics.
Okay.
Male can actually fertilize 10 females.
Okay.
But without that cock,
Yes.
10 females can go and fertilize and you can
that
do nothing.
criteria, it even works even to humans.
Humans.
But here's the crazy part. Tawanda started with just 150 broilers chickens and they all died, and now he supplies eggs to the local market and hotels. How did he do it? What challenges did he face? And is chicken farming really as easy as it looks?
Breeding chickens, we're breeding goats, we're growing crops, and we're enjoying farming as a whole.
Okay. So are you mainly focused on breeding, or even if I come and say, Mr. Tawanda, I want a chicken so that I can cook, would you offer to sell it to me?
That is very tricky, because if you come here and say you want a chicken to eat, unless if I have got some that I have selected that doesn't fit for my breeding, that I want to, we call those cows.
Okay.
We do culling. So if I have some cows that I can sell you for meat. But doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a meat breed. I'm a meat whatsoever.
Okay.
I don't do chickens for meat. I do chickens that can actually make other people do those kind of business, like doing for meat, for eggs and stuff. I sell seeds so that someone can do meat, someone can do show, someone can do breeding as well, someone can do eggs.
Yeah. So what inspired you to start chicken?
It's broader than what you can think.
Okay.
The first thing is I didn't want to. I always repeat this. I didn't want to end up being an educated fool.
All right.
When I say an educated fool, I didn't want to be idle because I have got a certificate.
Okay.
So because of that, I needed something that I can actually be in control. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to work under commands. I want to actually do what I do, and at whatever time I can do it, wherever I can do it. So that's what actually inspired me. I wanted to do something that I can control production, and that thing which actually can allow me or could allow me to do that is farming. Okay. Think of going into the motor industry.
All right.
If you think of actually inventing a car that doesn't use maybe electricity, solar, or whatsoever, maybe it uses soil.
Yes.
There will be certain covenants that are already, or acts that were already drafted, that there shall be no car which uses soil. So you'll be having a lot of impediments, a lot of stumbling blocks to innovate. But in farming, you can actually innovate. I've seen that I can use sesame to feed to my chickens. No one can actually come to me and say, don't feed sesame to your chickens. It's my own.
What's sesame?
Sesame it was recently introduced in our country, but it's a crop that can actually do a lot of stuff. Like, for example, you can actually make cooking oil from sesame.
Okay.
It's actually being consumed by people who are health conscious, because the cooking oil or the fat that comes from sesame, it's actually cholesterol free and it's actually healthy. You can actually make margarine from sesame. You can actually do baking from sesame. To chickens, we actually give them free choice because it has got some micronutrients that we want, like cobalt, magnesium, zinc and stuff. They are actually concentrated in that.
Okay.
So in the majority of cases, when we feed our chickens, they tend to lack some micronutrients. So we do supplementing through free choice.
Okay. So how long have you been doing poultry farming?
I've been in this business close to 6 years now.
6 years?
Yes, 6 years now. I've started this in 2019.
2019.
Yes. So now I'm actually reaching a 6-year mark.
All right. And what challenges have you been encountering with this period of time?
A lot of challenges. insecurities. For example, it's very difficult to. I know you know what I'm talking about. Like, for example, you start something.
Yes.
And you have to believe that thing works.
That's true. Yes.
And you need to believe that you are the head of that thing.
That's true. Yeah.
So you constantly question yourself: am I the rightful person to do this? How long am I gonna do this? For me, the question is forever.
Forever.
Yes.
So you are saying even in the future.
Yeah, in the future I will be just a farmer. Yes, I will be just a farmer who is actually integrating farming activities with technology, moving with technology. And maybe 20, 30 years down the line, you will find me being a farmer, but at an advanced stage.
Okay.
Not Tawanda is sitting or standing here. Maybe I will be using drones and stuff like that, enjoying farming. That's where I'm going. You see.
Right.
So those are some of the challenges, and other challenges is economic instability,
yes,
where we constantly have this inconsistent policies in terms of money, in terms of exchange rates, and all these kinds of things. This can actually disturb what we do, and again, thieves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And other natural disasters, like for the previous 2 years, we had a serious drought, which actually hit us hard in terms of the feeding that we do to our chickens, because we couldn't harvest a lot of maize that we actually need to feed our chickens. So it was actually a very big problem for us, because we had to outsource that maize.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Tawanda,
yeah,
pertaining to the format that I've seen in here,
yeah,
I've seen that you have divided the chickens.
Yes.
Like I don't know, the black ones, what do you call them?
The black Australian Orpingtons,
yeah,
the white Australian Orpingtons,
yeah,
Potchefstroom, Kukukus, Rhode Island Reds.
Yeah, especially what do you Australians? What do you
or Australian Orpingtons,
yeah,
or Australop in short.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen that you have divided them, like the black ones are here,
yes,
then the white ones are here. What's really behind it?
Because I'm a breeder.
Yes.
I said I'm a breeder. When you are a breeder and you have got chickens of different genetic makeup,
yes,
you have to actually respect that genetic identity.
Okay.
That's why we don't mix chickens, because if we mix chickens like Rhode Island Reds and the Potchefstroom Kukuku,
yes,
we end up having a chicken without an identity. We call them mongrels, or a mixed breed.
Okay.
Similarly, in dogs, I have my pure Rottweiler here.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't want to actually mix it with anything that is not a Rottweiler, because at the end of the day, I'm not creating anything.
Okay.
If I have to actually mix chickens for a particular breeding purpose,
yes,
I need to actually have a framework, a roadmap where what do I want to achieve at the end of the day. But basically, chickens should actually stay according to their genetic identity. That's why you see them compartmentalized like this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason. Because I'm a breeder, I don't want to end up losing my genetic pool.
Right,
I need to actually constantly preserve that.
So when you say you're a breeder,
yeah,
is it that if someone comes and say you want this breed, is it that you give them egg or you give them the chicken?
I'm a democratic breeder.
Right.
A democratic breeder actually allows his or her customers to decide on whatever they want.
Okay.
I give you advantages and disadvantages of having each and every item that you want here. For example, if you want to go for eggs, I give you advantages of getting eggs.
Okay.
If you want chicks, I give you advantages of getting chicks.
Okay.
If you get the mature birds, I give you advantages of getting mature birds, and also disadvantages of all that.
All right.
So I'm a democratic breeder. You come here, you ask for guidance, I give you guidance. Better get eggs, because eggs will help you on this and that.
All right.
Or get mature birds in your case. Like, for example, you come here,
yes,
you actually tell me, my man, I want to do this and that and that, and this is the end goal. For me, I decide, given the fact that I've got experience in the industry, I know how it takes to raise a chicken, I know what process is involved, and actually match that to the goal that you have, and it's like a person comes here and say, I want to do egg production.
Yes.
It means that person wants to produce eggs to the market that is already there,
Yes.
because that's why he actually comes out to look for chickens. So I encourage that person to get point of lays,
Right.
because you want something that in a short period of time start to make you money. If someone wants to breed, actually get eggs, start from the ground up, learn all the processes. The one who wants to sell the eggs doesn't care about raising chicks, because he or she doesn't want chicks, he wants eggs.
That's true.
So he or she should get point of lay. So we give you proper and well tailored guidance to where you want to go.
All right. And I wanted to ask, is it the same price that you sell the chickens and the egg, or
No,
they are different?
it's different. Like for example, these breeds, when you come and say you want eggs to go and hatch,
Yes.
each and every breed, like I said, on them they've got different price tags.
Yes.
Similarly, on eggs we have different price tags per breed. For example, our poch kukukus, a crate sells at $40.
All right.
Rhode Island Reds and White, we sell it at $90.
Okay.
Then Black Australorp sells at $40 as well.
All right.
So chicks, the most expensive ones, they sell at $5 each a day old. Then the least expensive $3 a day old.
All right.
So that's our price.
So I wanted to know, growing up, we've been seeing some trends in everything we get into.
Yeah.
Like be it in cars, you see now they have hybrids.
Yes.
And you see even in the chicks, I used to see those ones with what do you call them? Like the feathers.
The
like,
feathers
like
on the feet.
Yeah. What do you call those chicks?
The Brahma chicks.
Okay. So what now is in the trend of chicken that you say, this one, if you have this one, you have the nice breed?
You know, I always warn and caution people when it comes to actually breed selection.
Okay.
Because there is nowadays called breedization.
All right.
Breedization of chickens,
All right.
which actually doesn't yield anything. What I want to encourage people and other farmers is match your goal with actually what is on the ground.
Okay.
For example, if you want to do egg production, which is the end goal, we want to sell eggs.
That's right.
Just go and get a chicken which actually performs better when it comes to egg production.
That's right.
Don't just go and say, I want this nice breed because it has got feathers on the, it doesn't make any sense. You see, get a chicken which can actually do the job that you want to do. So there is actually what is called breedization of chickens, or breed naming, which is actually killing the industry.
Okay.
It's nothing special about breed names. Know what you want to do and actually match the chicken that you can get on the ground with that particular goal. That's what matters most. So a nice breed, every chicken is very nice, especially when it went through a process of breeding from a person who knows what he's doing.
That's right.
Yeah, so if you get what you want and match it to the goal, you don't actually trouble yourself with breed names and this chicken is nice and whatsoever. At the end of the day, you're going to slaughter that chicken.
Oh.
So the nice part of chicken doesn't make any sense if it is in the pot, because it will be meat at the end of the day.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I'm now taking you back like 2019 or 2020.
Yeah.
I think there was an outbreak of disease, which you just see your chickens dead. Like now we have it in the rabbit farming.
Okay.
Like you just see your rabbit is
Yes,
dead.
yes.
Have you ever encountered that?
No.
You didn't?
Why? Because what is very, very important in farming is to do it passionately with love.
That's right.
So when you know that this thing that I'm doing, I love it and I respect it, you have to actually know what you can encounter, or the problems that can actually upset the whole thing. Okay. For example, we know that we breed chickens, so we need to know chicken diseases and how they are transmitted to chickens. Then we respect that. Then we feed our chicken. I have actually respected the idea that a well-fed chicken with a well-balanced diet is actually a healthy chicken and a happy chicken.
Okay.
Which means whenever the diseases are everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
But what actually can differentiate farm A from farm B is how they are feeding their chickens, how they are taking care of their chickens. Because what kills a chicken at the end of the day, after the attack by a disease, is not a disease itself.
All right.
It's actually starvation and hunger.
All right.
Because as soon as a chicken is attacked by a disease, it stops from drinking water and eating.
Yeah. That's
So it means everything else can actually come in, and the chicken can be destroyed. So take care of the environment that your chicken stays. Sweep the coops. Give them cool fresh water, supplement with vitamins so that they can boost their immune system, give them a balanced diet, actually observe some biosecurity measures, like don't just allow people to come in and out. Actually trust the process. If you bring in some people whom you actually suspect to say that they may bring some diseases, inoculate your chicken with some medications so that they can be strong to resist any intrusion from outside.
all right. So now here, how many types of breeds do you have for the chickens?
I've got 4 distinct breeds. I've been breeding these breeds for the past 6 years. I don't change the breed. I actually breed these only. And I will be breeding these only for certain reasons. The reason is, if you want to succeed in farming, you have to be consistent, you have to be reliable.
That's true.
If anyone thinks of coming to buy a poch kuku, a well-bred poch kuku, they think of me.
Okay.
If they think of the best version of a Rhode Island Red, they think of me.
Okay.
White Ocelot, it's the same. So don't just, like I said, I always caution and warn people about this breedization and breed naming concept that have entered into the industry, which is actually killing the industry.
All right.
Keep what you have perfect, move in the right direction, and constantly supply the market with that, so that whenever they think of buying a chicken, a poch kukuku or a white australorp or a black australorp, they think of Tawanda and they come here. That's why I say I have been breeding this, and I will always breed this.
Okay. So in terms of market, are you mostly locally or even international, you export them?
The setup of our country is very difficult. At one point in time, we were told that we can import or export, we can import agricultural products for free without any duty. But I've got friends and certain people who always say that I was charged this amount at the border, but they said this product can get into the country because it's an agricultural equipment for free. Now they are charging me. The idea that I was bringing about when I said inconsistency in terms of policing, that's what actually is hindering us and killing us to actually export. But our products are actually lucrative to the outside of Zimbabwe. People in Botswana, they constantly phone me, even Nigeria.
All right.
I get calls from Nigeria. People want my product, but how can we actually give them the product is now a very difficult question to answer, because by actually thinking and actually putting it into action, you can actually see that there are a lot of laws that can actually prevent you from doing that. Right. So you end up saying, let me just sell locally. Okay. That's the risky-free thing. Because at the end of the day, if you want to force something to just export because you want to export, is the person who is going to receive the product going to receive it exactly the way it is here? That's the question. Some they get the chicken, the dead chickens. Some, so you actually compromise the whole process and actually destroy your identity in the industry. So we end up just selling in Zimbabwe because it's easier selling in Zimbabwe than actually selling outside.
Okay. And I wanted to know in terms of prices, how much do they cost?
Because I'm a breeder, I'm selling valuable genetics, heritage chickens. I don't sell chickens, I sell genetics.
Okay.
When you sell genetics that can empower the next person to actually be a business, a woman or a businessman, and make money out of that. We actually empowering other farmers. So by empowering other farmers, we are giving them tools. So giving you a tool to actually work and make money, that tool should be expensive. It's like a camera that we are using. When you buy a camera is expensive.
That's right.
Because if that camera is going to be put into a good use, But if you buy a camera and put it in the bag, and expensive, and put it in the bag, you end up saying, this thing is just expensive for nothing. But if you take that camera and record videos and actually educate people and do other things that a camera can do, you can actually see that the people who are saying that camera is expensive, they actually lie. It's not expensive. Okay. So our chickens, I don't want to call them expensive. They are affordable in their own way.
Okay.
We sell expensive cocks. Our highest priced cocks, they sell at 150.
150?
Yes, US dollars.
Okay.
Then the females, 120. Then the lowest priced for the cocks, $100, and the females $80.
Right.
Then we sell chicks a day old. The expensive ones $5 each. The least $3 each. Eggs $90 for the expensive ones, and $40 for the cheaper ones.
I wanted to understand something. You said the males, you are selling them at 140.
Yeah.
And then the other gender, you're selling them at what? At 120.
150 for the males, like cocks.
Yeah.
A cock is a mature male chicken which is above year and above.
Okay.
If it is below a year, it is called a rooster or a cockerel.
All right.
The prices are different.
I wanted to ask about what makes them different, especially if you say this one is a cock and this one is not. What makes them different?
A cockerel is a male chicken which is less than a year.
Okay.
It's called a cockerel or a rooster.
Already it's about how old they are.
About how old they are.
Okay.
Then a cock is a male chicken which is a year and above.
Okay.
When it comes to the females, a female which is a year and above is called a hen.
All right.
That which is less than a year is called a pullet.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are the names. Those are the technical names. Yeah. So the prices are different. If you compare the price of a hen to a pullet, is different. Why hens are expensive than pullets is because they are now experienced. You have now seen that this has got this body type, and production wise it is exceptional because you've been monitoring it for a year and you've seen that it's an exceptional female, and you can actually sell it at a premium price because you are very confident that it is very consistent in terms of production, and its body and all what you want is there.
Okay.
But a pullet now, like for example, the early maturities, they mature at 4 months.
Okay.
And they start laying eggs. But if you sell that chicken at 4 months, you haven't actually seen a lot on that chicken.
Yeah.
So that's why the price is low, because there are higher chances that someone who buys that chicken is going to encounter some problems. Maybe the body is not going to be up to the standard,
okay,
or the consistency in terms of production is going to be difficult and stuff like that. Similarly to the cock, we have someone here in Zimbabwe, I think in Wedza down there, who bought a bull for 444,000 in South Africa, a Borani bull.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
You saw that one.
I saw that one.
So if male animals are very expensive. Why? Because they constitute almost half of the whole flock that you'll be having. If I have one cock for white Australops, it means it constitutes the value of that cock is almost half of the whole females.
All right.
Yes. So that's why they are very expensive, because they make the job done. One male can actually fertilize 10 females.
Okay.
But without that cock, 10 females can go and fertilize, and you can do nothing.
I think that criteria, it even works even to humans. That's true. And I wanted to ask something. Do you see Zimbabwe going back to as a bread basket again?
Yes, I'm very confident and I'm very optimistic, especially when we have people like you who actually expose what is being done on the ground first. Then second, I'm seeing a positive wave where a lot of young people actually buy into agriculture, and actually now, because agriculture is getting into the hands of young people, it's actually being done in a more different way. Like for example, traditionally we used to do it for consumption.
That's true.
Nowadays, people are taking it as a business seriously and making money out of it. then it means if you are getting you are getting paid from the sweat and the labor that you put,
Yes.
it means it will encourage you to produce more. In producing more, you will produce surplus. Surplus can actually be exported,
That's
and
true.
Zimbabwe reclaim its position as a breadbasket for Africa. I'm very optimistic and I'm very confident.
So every farmer that I meet, there is one question, and there is always one question that I encounter, and it is the question is like this. Most of the videos, they are being watched by diasporans.
Yes.
And the problem with diasporans is about phone farming.
Yes.
Especially in poultry, what point would you give them, especially on phone farming?
There is a huge, a very, very, very big problem when it comes to remote controlled farming.
That's right.
Because there are some activities
Yes.
and some things that you actually need to observe with an eye for the whole business to be actually viable and running smoothly. So running a business remotely, yes, you can actually run it, but it needs someone who has already put some systems in place.
Okay.
Like for example, the whole farm has got some cameras, surveillance systems and stuff like that. You can actually monitor it in the UK.
Alright.
But the problem is that investment is too expensive for someone who is starting.
That's true.
So now what we actually want to do is we want to, I always encourage diasporans to institute or to employ a criteria of mutual trust.
Okay.
For example, put someone on the ground whom you trust, just trust a person. If you trust somebody to do the job,
Yes.
they will actually not disappoint if actually they know that you trust them.
Yeah.
But if you fake trust, they will know that you fake trust and they will actually disappoint you.
That's true.
Or actually leverage of partnerships. Like for example, there are people on the ground who are already doing what you want to do while you are far from home.
Yeah.
Why can't you just put money or resources together and say, my man, what's the goal? We have the same vision and the same goal.
Yes.
Why can't we do this together?
Yes.
I put so much. We share the responsibility and the profits. At the end of the day, we actually build some bigger businesses in farming. That's what happens with the Chinese. That's what happens with other races because they do it in groups.
Yeah,
We
that's
Zimbabweans, we prioritize individualism and it's killing the industry.
Yeah, that's true.
You
That's
see.
true. That's
So yeah, that's my advice for the people in the
And
diaspora.
for someone who's starting poultry farming, what's your advice? Would you give them this advice, maybe it might help you?
Farming is not for the faint-hearted. Let me speak broadly.
Yes.
In particular to poultry, my advice is if you do it right, like do it with the heart, with love, with all your soul,
Yes.
intact with the body.
Yes.
This is the most refreshing and most lucrative business ever.
Okay.
Because you produce food for yourself, you sell, you make money, you expand, and you actually upgrade your lifestyle.
Okay.
That's what, at the end of the day, that's why we are here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so trust yourself. Do it for love, commitment, hard work, determination. It will pay off at the end.
If you say this business is lucrative, what digits are we talking about? Like per month, what digit are we talking about? Like 4 digits, 3 digits, 2 digits?
You can make a lot of money. Let me just break. I don't want to give you how I do here because my figures are my own figures.
That's true.
Let me just give you a simple math. I produce 500 chicks for the Rhode Island Reds.
Okay.
500, I can finish them in the day they are hatched because at the moment
The day that they are hatched.
at the moment I don't have chicks for sale, but I've got a list of people who want chicks from me.
Wow.
So someone wants 50, someone wants 100. Imagine if I sell 500 chicks at $5 each time, you multiply that and see how much you can get. I've done what I've done, everything that I've done here, I've done using these chickens. I've put a solar system that I'm running, incubators that I own here.
Okay.
They actually cost not less than 1,000.
Wow.
US dollars. The feed that I buy for the chickens to actually be sustainable, the cost that we have to go and plant, you know how much it costs to plant crops.
Yeah, that's
everything I'm doing it with what these chickens are giving me.
Okay. So how many times did you feed these type of chickens?
We feed them two times a day. Why? Because we do what is called controlled feeding. Okay. Controlled feeding is done for the chickens that are intended for a long-term production.
All right.
So what we do is we give a maximum of 125 grams of feed per bed per day. So what we do is we multiply that 125 of grams of feed times the number of chickens that I'm having to get the total kgs. Then I divide that by 2. I feed half in the morning at 8,
okay,
and the another half late in the afternoon at 4.
Okay.
So during the day, if I have got some supplements that I can give them, like vegetables,
right,
sesame seeds, rapoko or something, or any other kind of weeds that I can get that are beneficial to them, they can actually consume in between these 2 feeding schedules. Then I provide them with a blend of fresh water,
okay,
during the day.
All right.
Done.
All right.
And tomorrow I'm getting
and
eggs.
Tawanda, I wanted to ask, I'm hearing you're just mentioning about the food, the nutrients. I've never heard you saying about the antibiotics, because most of the people, you know, especially in South Africa,
yes,
that's where most of the farmers, they apply antibiotics. What's your view on that one?
It's sometimes it depends with the location of the farm.
Okay.
And the condition under which the chickens are kept.
All right.
Because in you have productions, yes, like for example, what we call concentration coops,
yes,
where someone is keeping, like for example, 60,000 chickens and they are not allowed to get out and stuff like that. It means there is high risk of contamination, there is high risk of spread of diseases and stuff. So those people who constantly need to actually medicate their birds because they are more vulnerable to be attacked by any disease. So now, like I said, it depends with where the chickens are being kept. Yes. And if the biosecurity is in place, you don't think about vaccinations, antibiotics and stuff. And apart from that, myself, I breed chickens for resistance.
Okay.
When we say breed for resistance, we breed that which survives an attack from a disease.
Oh, okay.
If it doesn't recover from the attack of the disease on its own, or if we assist it maybe through giving it some vitamin supplements, if it doesn't recover, it means that chicken is weak. It is not fit for breeding. So we discard that and we keep those that can withstand a disease and can recover. They will pass their antibodies to the offspring or to the progeny. Yes. After passing those antibiotics, it means I'm producing a strong chicken to that particular disease. Oh. So that's why here I rarely use antibiotics, because I'm breeding heritage chickens. They are strong on their own. Yes. And again, I breed for resistance, and my carrying capacity and the condition under which my chickens live is very, very controlled and well taken care of.
Right. So I've been hearing you saying you only do this type of breed.
Yes.
Is it that in the past you have tried other breeds, or is just the goal that you have? But obviously you have already tried other breeds, because when you start, it's not like you just said, I just want to focus on this one.
Actually, I did a well-informed research before I ventured into what I'm doing. And in the interim period, like prior to starting this, yes, we had a joint venture with my little brother, okay, my cousin brother. Yes. Then we had 150 broilers. We bought them from Ivan's. Right. I just got into that partnership because I wanted to see how committed and how strong am I to that particular. Yeah. We lost everything.
Wow.
Yes, we lost everything. We didn't sell even a single chicken. They all died because there was a mosquito bite and stuff like that, okay, which then gives me an idea that the journey that I'm going to travel
Yes.
is not that easy. I just wanted that foundation.
Yeah.
And I got that foundation. And here I come. I did broilers, just one batch, and we didn't sell anything. It all died.
Wow.
And I have learned, and it became a skill. I'm a very, very skilled person when it comes to attending these. In times of disease attack or whatsoever, I can diagnose a disease and tell you what is really going on inside myself, without even consulting a vet.
Okay.
I can actually see
this
is what is
all right.
disturbing this chicken. Yeah.
Okay.
It's from experience and learning the hard way.
That's right.
When you start something,
Yes.
You actually have to be prepared to walk the rough road.
That's true.
And I was prepared.
All right.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, if someone someone who doesn't know anything about farming, are you sharing the information, or are you offering some lessons, because you have been in the industry for a while? Is there anything that you are contributing to, especially to the industry of Zimbabwe, in order to shape something good?
We share information across all my platforms. On Facebook, I talk about what I do and inspire a lot of people. Yes. I've got a channel which is called Poultry Mastery by Tawanda. We teach people and we actually give people tips and stuff like that. I've got a YouTube channel where I actually talk this story of chicken farming and educate other people. I have a training program that I do. I mostly do this with the diasporans. I go under Poultry Mastery. I said I own a channel called Poultry Mastery, but Poultry Mastery is a broad project where we train people. Like, for example, we have the diasporans who are not on the ground. They have their project running. So what I do is they pay for training, which is $50 training. I go on the ground, because I understand that the training, combined training, is not a good training at all. We need to actually understand the individual circumstances and situations. So I go on the ground and assess the whole thing on the ground and actually come up with a solution tailored to your specific location, and actually train people on the ground what to do when they encounter such issues. You see, it has never been done in Zimbabwe. I'm the one who is pioneering this. We go and actually diagnose and actually see what is happening and offer proper solution to your problems, because people tend to combine things. Like, for example, for all poultry farmers, we are offering training. Your fee is $10. Come in Harare, Karigamombo, wherever where they can train people. You are amalgamating people to tell them the things that they can actually read on internet, that they can actually see on YouTube. And at the end of the day, there are no solutions to their problems. Go on the ground, assess the problem, and offer a specific solution to those problems.
That's true. You know, I've been traveling a lot, especially into farming. And I met this farmer who's into sweet potato farming. You know, he told me that, some of the time, our farmers, they destroy what they are doing without knowing, because someone just see like this sweet potato is good, then he just pick the plant, then he go in, inject in his farm, he start doing that, and that when you encounter some diseases. So in chickens, do you have that thing that you say, maybe you see your neighbor that he have got what do you call cock, then you say, maybe I need this one, then you just... Is there any danger that you say?
We don't do that. We don't do that because I'm a breeder. There are breeding practices and ethics that we should actually adhere to. Like, for example, in order to maintain genetic vigor, genetic vigor is the one which can tell how strong a chicken is in terms of resisting diseases and how productive that chicken can be. So what we do is we avoid inbreeding, because inbreeding can come with what we call genetic depression. Genetic depression is the one which actually lowers down production and actually can bring in what we call lethal genes. Lethal genes are those genes that are weak and can actually easily attacked by diseases and stuff like that. So what we do is we buy cocks, like the guy whom I was referring to, who bought that bull from South Africa. That's what we do. He does that, or he did that in order to actually maintain the genetic vigor of the cattle that he have. We have chickens, we constantly rotate cocks, but we don't just say you have got a very good cock, so give me the cock. No, we go onto a breeder farm, and we actually view the chickens and see the ones that he is selling and examine them to see if they fit for what we want to do. We ask them to give us disease history of their chicken, how they breed, how they feed their chicken. This will give us a clue of what we are buying. After buying the chicken, on bringing it onto the farm, we don't actually quickly introduce it to the chickens that we have. We quarantine it for 2 weeks to see if it has a disease or it doesn't have a disease. If it passes within that 2 weeks to say it doesn't have a disease, then it then comes to join the whole flock.
All right.
That's what happens.
Yeah, now I understand.
You see.
You know, one thing that I like that you talked is you said when you want to venture into a business, you should know the goal that you are going through.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
you cannot say I want to go to Bulawayo, then you say I want to go with a bicycle.
Yes.
Which means you should choose the mode of transport that is required to go to Bulawayo. I think that that word only clarified even in other businesses.
Yes.
You should know
the end goal.
Yeah, that's true.
Match
that's
it
true.
with the product that actually can make you or help you achieve that goal.
That's true.
Yes.
Even for you, I think if you didn't have a goal, I think we should have seen.
I could have rotated
types of
a lot. I could have
chickens.
rotated a lot. Yes.
So I wanted to ask about the goats. What prices are you ranging like the goats on?
The goats, I haven't sold anything yet because this is a business that I've started this year 2025, but I have thought about it even the time I started this. I had this goat mentality in me, but it only what differs is the launch time.
All right.
I knew that each and everything that I want to do should actually be phased. Like, for example, put in phases, like stages.
All right.
I first of all introduce the chickens and actually make this business viable. It is the one that actually is yes.
Okay.
So what I'm looking forward to do is to breed our local goats, because these are our local goats.
What
Maybe you didn't know.
in Zimbabwe?
These are our local goats. We have got Matebeles, those are the white ones.
Okay.
Then we have got the brown ones, the Amazonas. What I'm doing is I'm selecting the bigger framed, smooth coat goats, so that I breed them and show people that we should be proud of what we have in Zimbabwe. Because there are a lot of people who are buying goats from South Africa, Namibia, and where else, and bring those goats and fail to take care of those goats. Because those goats, they have got more disadvantages when it comes here as compared to what we have. We have similar framed goats with that in South Africa in our local genetic pool, but we are not taking care of them. So I'm going to institute the feeding program that is very, very good for our goats, the dipping programs, the vaccinations, and all that kind of stuff, and show people that we can actually be able to do that with our own goats. That's the goal. So watch the space. I don't care about the pricing or stuff like that. But what I know is I want to make our own local genes for goats valuable.
All right.
Just is the same as the sun and goat, whatsoever, the names that you want to think of, like the Kalahari and the savannas and all that. Our goats should actually fetch a very good price because they are very good goats, but the way they are being bred is what is wrong.
All right.
So that is the solution that I want to bring to breed them well to the problem that we already have, which is mixing things and don't know which is which. You just have goats. If you are asked which type of goat do you have,
Yeah.
I'm just have a goat. I know, I just have a goat.
And I've seen that with many farmers. If I ask the name of the goats, they try like they hide.
Yeah, they hide.
They don't know what they are.
doing.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what we want to change in Zimbabwe.
All right. And I didn't ask. How did you got up with these types of breeds? Is it that you imported, or you go there, or you find them in locally?
We actually, personally,
Yes.
I bought eggs
Okay.
from South Africa.
Okay.
Then I hatched those eggs.
Right.
And I got screwed up by the people who own incubators in Zimbabwe, which then actually I took it as something that I should embrace. It's a challenge which I needed to embrace, which actually drove me to invest in my own incubators and hatching systems. I now own a hatchery because I was disappointed.
So you mean you went with the eggs and then they exchanged the eggs?
Yes, they took my chickens and put everything else that I didn't.
I can imagine of
Yes,
that.
yes, that
Someone
was
you come with a real egg.
Yes,
Then he
and
gives
they
you even
change.
for a broiler.
Yes, they changed
Wow.
everything.
Wow.
I ended up having some Bosch Velders and naked necks here, and I asked myself, what the hell is that? Where did I get this from? And the correct answer and the rightful answer was, I got this from the guy who hatched my eggs. Was the guy who sold me the eggs didn't have
see
all
the
these
products.
kind of,
Yeah.
you see?
Wow.
Because I have sent somebody to see things on the ground before I buy. Then he told me that on the ground there are very good things that I wanted. Then I said, take the eggs. Then he brought the eggs to me, and I was given a naked neck in the bush field, and I asked myself,
You know, hearing your story, I think you are a brave man, because the challenges that you have been facing so far, if I am to count them, if it was me, I think I would have just quitted everything and say, no, that thing is not for me. Because, you know, from being stolen,
I lost a lot of
I know that
chickens.
story. I know that story.
Yeah.
Being stolen for the chicks. How many did you left with that time?
I lost everything.
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 So you
I
started
didn't-
from zero.
Zero.
Then from being given poor breed or
Yes,
incubator,
yes,
then
yes.
from starting with 150.
Yes.
You know, I think
It's something that actually when you think you believe in something
yeah,
against all odds, you say I will win.
yeah. That's
I cannot say I have won already,
Yes.
but I will definitely win. Ultimately, I will win. This race that I'm running,
Yes.
I'm going to win because it's my own race.
That's true.
I'm not competing with anyone.
Yeah,
I'm myself
only focus to where you are going.
where I
That's
want to
true.
go.
That's true.
No competition with anyone. Competition is on me yesterday versus today and tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm doing. If you ask around, they can tell you that whenever, even on platforms that I'm in with other people in the groups and stuff,
Yes.
I don't talk a lot.
All right.
I learn much.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I know that I don't know everything. So I humble myself and I learn a lot from everybody. I learn from everybody. That's what makes this journey that I'm traveling seem to be easy for me, because I accept every kind of knowledge and I investigate and see what I can take and what I cannot take.